Don't fall for that crap of men who thought about buying you flowers. Wants credit for doing nothing. Like, seriously, that is a huge red flag, y'all. If you fall for that stuff, like I thought about buying you flowers, that is the man, that's exactly the kind of man who's going to give you a shut up ring. I'm going to tag the creator who calls it that. I think she coined it. It's a perfect word for what this is. Men who don't want to marry you, they want to benefit from all the stuff you give them, but they don't actually want to marry you because that means they may have to actually commit financially and maybe, monogamy and all that stuff, although they'll probably cheat on you anyway. They just don't want you to leave, right? That's where it starts. If a man is like, I thought about doing this, I thought about doing that, and doesn't do that, that's literally worse than doing nothing. That is a man who will just say stuff to placate you. He's exploiting your hope. That's why women, we got to let go of hope. I do not give men the benefit of the doubt anymore. All it did was ruin my life. It did was give them more and more opportunities and time to exploit me. And worst case scenario, that's what kept me in an abusive relationship, among other things, among, trauma responses and generational violence and all that stuff. That thought, that hope, it may be he will be that man that he showed me in the beginning. He'll be that man again. He was never that man. He's not that man. He was never that man. It was all an act to hook you. And so hope is what keeps women in terrible relationships, whether it's just like kind of crappy or just like not fulfilling, or worst case scenario, a dangerous one that gets you up. Give up on hope, y'all. Give up on hope when it comes to men. Assume the worst from them until they prove otherwise. And a man who is telling you he thought about buying you flowers or he thought about giving you a gift and doesn't give you that gift is full of crap and exploiting your hope. And if you accept that behavior, then he knows that he can get away with doing nothing, get the rewards of your, oh, you're so impressed by this thing he didn't do that he thought about doing. Like, seriously, that is so much worse than doing literally nothing. Fork you in your I thought about flowers. Now, if you know my content, any of y'all who are watching this, I try to have hope in everything that I do. I think hope is important. But when it comes to dating men under patriarchy, you can have hope in terms of you're not just going to give up entirely. If it's something you would really like, keep dating. But that doesn't mean you should give any of them the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? If you don't want to just give up on men and dating, that's fine. I didn't. What I did let go of is this idea that I have to be married, that I have to be partnered. It was fine. I grieved that. I grieved honestly, I never really believed in it anyway. Parents are divorced. Both sets of my grandparents hated each other. Grandma was a literal hostage to my grandfather. I've never believed in marriage really anyway, but I grew up on Disney and all that crap. And so there was a part of me that, thought that maybe I'm supposed to do this, maybe I'll find a partner, What women really need to be doing is grieving that fantasy, grieving that promise. We were all lied to. That's what's so upsetting, is that we were all lied to. We were sold this fantasy and none of it was ever true. Our grandmas weren't happy. They were hostages. Now, obviously, it is human nature to want companionship or, love and community. Those things are necessary and those things are good. But under patriarchy, and especially the current state it's in right now, these men are just finding new ways to exploit us, new creative ways to keep their power and to dominate us. And one of them is exploiting our hope. So I'm sorry, but the proof's in the pudding, baby. If you don't literally wrap that present and show it to me, a man doesn't put a ring on that finger and make a date marrying you. He doesn't want to marry you. He's literally doing the bare minimum to keep you around because he needs you, not the opposite. We don't need men. They literally ruin our lives unless they are actually interested in being a true partner, which requires A, they deal with their trauma, because when they don't, we are the ones who have to deal with it. And B, they actively and eagerly deconstruct patriarchy. Because if they don't do that, they will exploit us. No matter how much they claim to love us, will exploit us. They have been conditioned in the same crap that we have. They have the upper hand. Why would they not exploit us? Why would they not take advantage of us? Unless A, they knew they're going to lose us, and B, they love the crap out of us and realize that they actually become better human beings when they have to rise to the occasion and step fully into their humanity instead of coasting off of our free labor. So fork promises of fill in the blank. It's all BS and don't buy it anymore.